Hi, this is Tom Harper with Avidyne, and today we're going to cover the EX5000, EX5000C multifunction displays. Let's take you through some of the main functions, and we'll do a little sample trip and show you the 5000 kind of in action. As far as controls, the EX5000, you've got your bezel here with the controls. On this side, you've got your different sensors, and over here, you've got your map controls for map orientation, etc. You've got data blocks in the corners that you can customize, and you've got your moving map in a plan view. Again, the line select keys provide one button access. Again, to control the overlay of the different sensors, such as lightning and traffic, you have the buttons here. You just use the button. Since this is not a touch screen, but you can use the line select keys or soft keys. The map functions are controlled on the right side, and that'll enable the off-route nav aid, your terrain and water base map. You can select that. The left knob is what gives you access to your different pages. So you have the tabs along the bottom here. So you have your map page, your trip page, your nearest checklist setup. And of course, in most installation, there's also an engine page. So all your engine data shows up as well. And the current page is highlighted in cyan, as you see here. Here, if we go to the setup page, you can get into your maintenance mode, and you can swap the MFDs. Instead of listening to the number 1 GPS, it'll listen to the number 2 GPS. It can only show one source at a time. So you can toggle that right here. And then you can also set up your airport filters for your database, your declutter setup. You can go into that. I don't spend a lot of time on it here. You can program your data blocks here and set your system time. The right knob controls the range of the map, and you can notice you've got a range ring out here, and it'll tell you what the range of that ring is, so it makes it obvious where you're at and where things are oriented in relation. Your track or your heading will show up in the box up here. And you'll note as you zoom out in range, as you get above 750 nautical miles, the terrain will declutter. It just gets too much. So we take the terrain down so you can still see political boundaries and waterways. Using the right knob again. On the map, you have a full flight plan overlay, including DME arcs, holds, procedure turns, so curved paths. Here you can see the lightning overlaid. This tells us our sensor status, so it tells us the traffic is in normal mode, 6 miles, and we're in strike mode in our lightning detector. We've got comprehensive nav data from Jeppesen for all of our off-route nav aids. So off-route airports, intersections, NDBs, airports, of course, special use airspace, restricted airspace boundaries. And again, if you're using a Skywatch or a TAS 600, some kind of traffic system, and actually in the newer software, you'll get, this could be an ADS-B traffic source as well. And then your lightning detection, you can turn that layer on and off. If you have a storm scope, you may be getting lightning products via ADS-B in lieu. We can also reorient the map using the LSK1 on the right side. So right now we've got the orientation set for forward. It says so right in the dialog box here. So right now we've got a forward view. So we've got like a 120-degree arc with our airplane set at the bottom of the screen. If we cycle it again, now we're centered. Incidentally, that's track up. You'll notice this map is track up, and you get a little indicator for T for forward. Here's a 360-degree centered view with track up. And then you push it again, and you'll get a 360-degree north up view. And again, that's indicated right here, this little icon. Your track is the little green arrow, and your desired track is the magenta arrow. If you have a heading source coming in from your data computer or whatever, you'll actually get a cyan button on here as well that'll show you heading. So it's great for showing crab angle. It'll, all you want to do is match up the actual track in green with your desired track in magenta, and it'll automatically correct for wind, keep you on track. It's a really nice feature, and you can see it at the top of the screen here. The next line select key is your declutter button, so that's going to turn off the off-route nav aids and airspace, etc., at varying degrees, which you can kind of set up in that setup screen we talked about. Here I've got 1 degree of declutter. Notice that it'll fill up the little wedge here. So I've decluttered some of the looks like the Victor Airways have disappeared on the first level. When I hit it again, now all the special use airspace goes away and all the off-route nav aids. So you can see, again, depending on the range you're on, it can get pretty busy on a map. So it gives you the ability to add or subtract information that may or may not be relevant to you. So we see a terrain scale here. So here we've got on this range, the highest terrain that we're viewing by color is 9,000 feet. And the lowest, of course, is at sea level out here. So at any given range, you will see this terrain scale vary based on what range you're at and what terrain is available. If you were zoomed in down here where there's very little terrain, then the top color might be green because that's the highest terrain on display. And then you can vary the base map by cycling through the line select key. Here, turn off the terrain. With the first one, notice the terrain goes away. And notice the altitude scale stays in view when water is displayed and terrain is decluttered. So it gives you still an extra margin of safety that it's paying attention to what the high terrain is even when you have the terrain turned off. If we hit the button again, we turn the water off and now we've got a black base map. You can also declutter all the nav aids and you would have just a black screen, which might be nice for in the terminal area. You just want to pay attention just to traffic as an example. You cycle it again, so it goes through 3 levels of base map and 3 levels of nav aid declutter. We also show obstacles from the database, and you'll notice that if there's an obstacle present, it'll pop up and show you the highest obstacle in the range that you happen to be on. Here we're on a 30-mile range, and this big tower sitting out here. So there's tower over here. There's maybe a couple others that I don't see offhand, but it says the highest obstacle is 2,100 feet. So that gives you some more information to help you with in terms of safety. For the Emax engine monitoring system, it's going to provide you full engine monitoring capability. This is for the PA-28. We show a single cylinder. The Cirrus has all the cylinders shown, but you also get EGT and also CHT on some. You get, of course, your analog gauges, which are easy to set by clock position, which makes it nice. The fuel totalizer. You also have a lean assist and a normalize function, which are really nice. Your OAT and your electrical system monitoring is helpful as well. The Cirruses are equipped with the newer Emax. This is showing, again, I think this is one of the newer Pipers. But you can see it's got four cylinders of EGT and CHT on this particular example. Your FlightMax engine instruments will also show up in a data block over on the left side of your screen, which makes it nice. You'll see those all the time. You can just rotate to get to the engine page, and it may be here. Sometimes I think in some of the configs they're the last page. I don't think I have a slide on the normalize and the lean assist, but the lean assist, basically you push the button and it will prompt you, and you can start leaning, and it'll start. You monitor your temperatures, and then it will tell you when you're getting to peak temperature on any one of the cylinders. Then you can decide whether you want to go best economy or best power, and it will prompt you right on the screen. Super easy. If you have ADS-B or XM, you'll get your weather overlays, and you'll have an extra button for that to turn the weather overlay on and off. But you also get your METARs will show up as part of your weather reports. METARs, your AirMets, your SIGMETs, If you go to the trip page, really handy. All the waypoints in your flight plan will show up on the trip page. And also, if there's a reporting METAR at that waypoint, it will put a flag, a METAR flag. The EX500 is smart enough that if you have a long leg, more than 50 miles, we'll put a METAR waypoint between your two waypoints in your flight plan so that you're getting an extra weather report for your en route weather. As you scroll down through using the right knob and scroll down through each waypoint, you'll get a full weather report down below. So if you want to select your destination, just scroll down to BTV in this case, and you'll get the full weather report down below. But you'll get the color-coded METAR, which gives you a quick glance of what's going on. And you always have a CDI up above for reference. Notice the little chart icon means that there's an instrument chart available at that particular waypoint as well that you can bring up in the charts. So next thing I want to do is switch to this little sample trip that we put together in the Cirrus, just to show you in action. We're flying along, so we're going to go flying from Raleigh-Durham up to Burlington, Vermont. There's our flight plan. So we're getting, in this case, we've got XM, it could be ADS-B. So at startup, we're going to start getting our weather. So here we're on the hold line, we're getting ready to go. We can bring our engine instruments up and do our run up and that sort of thing. Now if we look at our chart, we can see we're at the runway threshold. We're ready to go. We've been cleared to taxi. We get into position. We've got our engine stuff, all of our percent power and information up here on our engines. We've got our next waypoint in the data block here, plus we monitor our destination airport. You can see our ground speed. You can see weather. We've got a TFR, obviously up around DC, and there's a lot of weather coming in up north. We can go look at our destination. We scroll down to Burlington, and we can see the weather and what's going on there. We've got some weather we have to fly through, but at our destination, we know it'll be a VFR. So again, the CMAX shows our position on now that we're taxied onto the runway. We can monitor our engine parameters, and we're taking off, we're climbing out. Off we go, left on course. Notice we get here, we get a traffic alert on our MFD that says we've got traffic 2 o'clock at 6 o'clock and 2 miles at 100 feet below us. The traffic's currently no factor, but we'll keep an eye on him. So he's behind us, but you can see some additional ADS-B traffic out here as well, that no factor. Again, checking the weather ahead. It's showing NEXRADs, they're showing snow and mix, but the lightning's off to the south, so we're getting lightning way over here in the New Orleans area. Turn on our METARs, so we switch our METARs on, and you can see a lot of IFR weather in through here, and icing. Here's our AirMet and SIGMET boundaries, which were depicted graphically. Turning on our AirMets and SIGMETs by cycling through this line select key. We can do our lane assist function and lean for best power or best economy. Here we saw our last cylinder to peak, and then we leaned up to get best economy. Again, checking our destination. Notice we're also getting the fuel at each of our waypoints, fuel remaining. So we're in good shape there for fuel at our destination. And then again, the chart, the icon for your CMAX charts is also available. If you scroll down, maybe you wanted to land at an alternate, you could scroll to here, in this case, Frederick, Maryland. We could bring up the chart by just pushing the button, and it would automatically load the Frederick chart. Or we could scroll to the destination and then hit chart, and it would load it. You see the TFRs currently over the DC-80s and also Camp David. If you go to the nearest tab, it will show you all the airports nearby. You'll get the color-coded METAR for each of those airports that are reporting. And it'll also get the CMAX chart if it's available. So if you were to have an emergency, you would know which airports might be the most convenient to get you inbound. You can select the chart by pushing the quick line select key. Here we're at nearest airport. You can also cycle through nearest VOR, nearest NDB, nearest service, flight service. You can also get nearest to destination. So now if you want to monitor airports in and around Burlington, here's our Burlington airport and all the weather report. But if you scroll down through the list, if you're looking for an alternate, you can also check out the alternate airport weather as well. Really handy. Again, the CMAX chart is indicated there as well. That's availability by chart. Okay, we crossed the Hancock VOR. Now we're inbound for Burlington. Let's review the chart for Burlington. We can go to the chart tab and it'll autofill our destination. It'll queue it up here. So all you have to do is push this button to autofill the destination charts. Or you could come up here and type in any airport you want and review the charts while you're en route. So let's check that. We hit the button and it loads all the charts for Burlington in this case. We can scroll through the list. Or we can change airports if we want to look at it differently. But now we're going to scroll down through. We're going to look at the DME runway 33 is where we're cleared. So let's pull that up. There's our chart. We can cycle through the view button and look at all the different views. Profile view, again, cycle through each one of those views. So we're descending now into Burlington. We've loaded our approach. The NIDUC is the initial approach fix, so we're coming inbound here. And there it is on our vector graphic moving map. Intercepting the localizer, we're turning final. You can see we're stepping down here on the glide slope. And you can see the airport in view. And now we're going to come in and land. As we touch down, the chart will automatically appear on the screen and switch over to show us the chart. If we're unfamiliar, it'll make it really handy for taxiing. We get off the runway and get to the hangar, and really makes taxiing a breeze in unfamiliar airports. So whether it's your XM or your ADS-B, your CMAX charts, lots of power and capability with the EX5000 MFD series. If you have any questions, you can email marketing@avidyne.com. Thank you and have a great day.